r/ask Reddit. What improved your quality of life so much, you wish you did it sooner? Sleeping when I'm sleepy. Instructions unclear. Fired from work. Let me introduce you to car naps. At my office, pretty much every new parent co-worker would eat a quick lunch then sit in their car and nap. Or take a 20-minute coffee break in their car. You knew the car nappers because their cars would be parked in a lot that was not quite visible from the office due to some trees and the spots were shaded. 43Y. Oh. Started exercising regularly again. 4x a week. Forget the physical benefits for a minute. The mental benefits outweigh the gains all day. This is exactly why I finally took up exercise. I've never considered myself a fitness girl by any means. But last winter my mental health took such a hit that I had to try something. And I liked it so much I'm still sticking with it. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the awards. For anyone interested, I use the FitOn app. There's all kinds of cool workouts and it's free. I have tried to work out many times over many years but not even once I experienced feeling good after I am done. No endorphins, no happy hormones. So what gives? Learning to be okay with saying no and starting off all relationships, personal and professional, with healthy boundaries. You don't ever need an excuse to say no to if you don't want to do something. Don't feel like going out with friends that night. No thank you. Don't want to work an extra shift at your place of employment if it's not mandatory? No thanks boss. Boundaries are amazing, and when set from the beginning, they are much easier to maintain for your own mental well-being. Edit. Well, this has become my highest upvoted comment. Thanks to everyone who responded with stories related to boundary setting. And stay strong if you still struggle with this. Givers have to set limits because takers don't have any. The only people who get upset at you having boundaries are the people who benefited by you having none. Quitting smoking. I couldn't imagine life without it back then. But man, is life better without a constant need like that. Not to mention all the health benefits. Me too. I can walk and run and go upstairs without wheezing now. I like being able to laugh without coughing. 2. Letting my pride and ego take hits. I used to have been such a me person in my early life. When I allowed myself to be taken down a peg or two, I started having new perspectives on life and people around me. Edit. I don't have words. Thanks so much. It's a great lesson for young people. If you're wrong about something, don't double down on it. Just admit fault, learn, and keep it moving. We all make mistakes. Let's quit pretending we're somehow better than everybody else. Edit. I didn't mean to imply that only young people need to learn this. I just meant it's how we prevent future adults from being insufferable. Edit 2. Damn. So many rewards. Thanks. It's just common sense though. This is such a hard one to get people to change. Partially because of egos, but largely because it is super ingrained in everyone that it is horrible to contradict something you've said in the past. Like you are either a liar or you must not have strong convictions. It's like personal growth is actively frowned upon, unfortunately. Throwing out all my socks and buying a single type. No more looking for pairs. I did this a few years back and it was a game changer. I still have 3 types though. Calf height black socks for office work. Calf height white socks for outdoors work in boots. White ankle socks for casual wear or workouts. Laundry day is EZPZ for my shit. It's the 47,000 different kinds and colors of socks that my kids have, that is the problem. I tried to do this a few years back. Turned out all the socks were slightly different, enough to notice they didn't match. Flossing. I never saw the dentist as a kid, and no one really pushed me to or cared about my dental health. As an older Redditor who had poor dental hygiene growing up, keep at it. Getting old sucks as it is, but it's even worse when you have a problem that could have been avoided. Cutting out alcohol. I don't criticize anyone who drinks, but I was a problem drinker. Stopping that cycle improved everything about my life. I haven't quit drinking, but I've more or less quit getting drunk. Yes, it changes things. I'm the same way. I still drink occasionally but usually limit myself to 2 drinks. I realize that basically 99% of my most embarrassing instances and moments of bad judgment were when I was drunk. Automating simple yet time-consuming tasks. Like Excel macros. You wouldn't realize how much time you save beforehand, but it sure does save heaps. Excel is a huge part of my work. Where do I learn this stuff? Thank you. A good starting point is to enable the developer ribbon in Excel. Google it. It's easy. Next, don't bother trying to write any VBA. Just record a macro for a simple but repetitive task, like moving to a certain cell and pasting. Recording a macro is as easy as pressing the record button, doing a few things in Excel, and pressing the stop button. Now, every time you run that macro, it repeats what you recorded. You can assign a keyboard shortcut to launch it. Again, Google is your friend. Next, look at the VBA behind the macro you just made. That's what you'll be writing yourself once you learn a bit more. Mess around with the code. See what happens when you change bits. This will give you a feel for it. Once you're at this stage, start reading beginner level tutorials on VBA. You can record something similar to what you want, then fine tune it for a lot of tasks. So you don't need to be an expert to build some really useful macros that can literally shave hours off your day. Deleting all the people from high school I don't see anymore from social media. Deleting social media altogether. No Facebook, no Twitter, only limited amounts of Reddit does wonders. What's this limited amounts of Reddit you speak of? Working from home in IT. Duck. This environment and industry fit me like a glove. WFH is amazing. I can't imagine ever wanting to commute for work again. No more losing time, money and sleep. I love having ownership over my schedule. I went back to office work half the time. It is nice to see everyone, but once I start working I hate it. 99% of people spend a maximum 6 hours a day working. The time sitting at my desk for image between 3-5 are absolutely brutal. Everyone can see my desk and laptop, no Reddit, no anything. I grind away for 6 hours to scroll through the same shit I've seen on LinkedIn 100 times. At home, I am more comfortable. Can get a lot of administrative busy work done when I have a TV show or movie I've seen a million times playing in the background. For serious need to be on top of its stuff, I have my basement. Duck driving in the car for over an hour every day to say hello to people. Eating healthy. It's amazing after you realize how much you feel like shit after you just took down a double cheeseburger, extra large fries, and a large Coke. But at the time, you don't realize it and just think you're tired. Good eating habits and exercising changed my life. This, but also greasy, salty food tastes amazing when you don't eat it as much. I eat fast food pizza burgers maybe once a month, and man does that taste way better now. Even then, I won't eat that shit every day. It would make me sick. Yes, after diagnosed with diabetes 5 months ago, it was a slap on the face. I also grew up with tons of relatives and a mom who had it, but never learned to rein in their diet. I decided to eat as many greens as humanly possible. Fiber, fiber, fiber. At some point my migraines left. At some point my midday sleepiness went away. At some point my pockmarks and acne spots went away. And then finally the excess 30 pounds that I've been trying to kick melted away. I don't have the itis after meals. I feel so comfortable going for an impromptu walk, hike, lugging in large packages, grocery hauls. It's wild. I never realized I was probably eating only 2 cups of veggies a day. Edit. Oh yeah. All that happened with the only goal being lowering my A1C to non-diabetic. Achieved that in 3 months. Hiking in the mountains. Nothing makes me feel more at peace and excited at the same time. Drinking more water. Edit. Thank you everyone for the awards and upvotes. When I got my first real job, I still had no money. The options for something to drink at work were either paying for a soda or water, which was free. One day of drinking water all day, no coffee, no soda, just water, and I had this holy shit, I've just been thirsty for the past 25 years moment, and I never looked back. Water or beer, that's it. Same. If you ever see me drinking anything that isn't water, it has alcohol in it. Cutting out toxic friends. After years of knowing someone, it can be hard to see that they are no longer the person they were when the relationship started. My childhood best friend grew into a manipulative, selfish prick. For years I hung out with him almost every day after work and always felt miserable afterwards. Everyone around me questioned why I still spent time with him. I always made excuses that seem ridiculous in hindsight. I should have cut ties 10 years ago. Seeing a therapist. My dad died when I was 16 and I never saw or really talked to anyone about it till I was in my 30s. So many years wasted being angry and sad. How did you go about finding a therapist who matched you? Start by researching the types of therapy. There are many different therapy methods and matching the one for your goals is the first step. Then research the therapist in your area that fit that therapy type and find someone with experience working with your specific background and goals. Then meet with as many as you need to feel comfortable. There is nothing wrong with interviewing multiple therapists to find the right one. For me, I landed on EMDR and CBT as the type and found a therapist that had some background and experience with the religion I was raised in. You can PM if you have more questions. Edit. This blew up a bit and I went to yoga, and my kids get dropped off in a few minutes. I'll respond to the chat requests and response later tonight once I get my kids to bed. I was very shy and self-conscious, but at some point I started just living how I wanted. I already wasn't popular, so what was I risking? Girls still wouldn't be interested. I guess I just started doing things I'd been afraid to do before, including being more outgoing. I know this sounds like generic advice, but it really worked for me. Every time your brain says no, that wouldn't work out, or no, what would people think, or any other version of no, don't try. It's a perfect opportunity to do something you feel drawn to. Dye your hair pink. Try painting even though you know you'll suck at it. Fart and then say it was me. Okay, maybe not the last one. How do you shut out that self-conscious voice that thinks it knows the outcome of every situation? There's always something telling me why I shouldn't or can't do something I'm scared of. For me, it took acknowledging my own adulthood and really, truly gripping the fact that even if I duck up, once I decide I'm going to do it, I'll do it and deal with the consequences. I work in R&D, and I still have to remind myself that for every one project that goes right, there are going to be 99 that flop and just don't go the way I want. But if I don't do those other 99 and learn from them, I'll never get that magical happy feeling when it hits the bullseye. Being scared is fine. Being so scared that it prevents you from living requires a lot of willpower to overcome. Independent blankets for my wife and I in bed. Incredible how much better you sleep when there's no waking up with blankets pulled half off or using one that's too heavy or too light. I'd highly recommend for anyone that sleeps with a significant other. Edit. Holy cow, this blew up. Thanks for the awards. We are setting up 2 twin beds head to head. He has nerve damage and twitches in the night. We also are opposites on the hot and cold scale. I think this will let us hold hands and talk but have our own micro environment. If you make them bunk though, you'll have so much more room for activities. Edit. Most awarded for a Step Brothers quote. I was just here to duck shit up. RIP inbox. Thank you all for the awards. Buying a good knife for cooking. I just got a Whetstone and it's a game changer. Tomato season is glorious now. Losing 200 pounds. Edit. LOL. You guys had fun with this. To answer everyone's question, I meant weight. Former 397 pound fat chic here. Never even seen a British pound. Lost the 200 on my own through diet and exercise. Then about 24 pounds of excess skin had to be removed surgically. Someone give this man his 200 pounds back. Thank you for making me almost choke on my food. Permanently placed my phone on do not disturb. Allow calls from contacts. This one change saved me from constant disruptive unwanted calls. Life is good on no ring lane. I did something similar. I turned off push notifications for pretty much every app. I did this too. Turned off all notifications for all apps. I only see messages, updates, whatever, if I intentionally go to that app to look for them. Absolute life changer. Took away stress I didn't even know I had. Buying a wardrobe of good quality. Properly fitting clothing that I actually like. Agonizing over what to wear every morning because this doesn't fit properly. This one has a stain. I just wore that yesterday. I don't like how this sits on my body, would start my day off very badly. Edit. Thank you so much for the awards. I really appreciate it. For me the big thing was realizing that the size I buy doesn't matter, it's how it fits. I have some tops that are a size S. I have some tops that are an XL. Who the hell cares what size is on the label? Don't stick to one size because that's your size. If you like something, try on different sizes and find out which suits you best. Accepting at 28 that I was a very emotional guy and letting myself cry whenever I needed to. I swear I cried constantly for about a year straight, as if catching up on all the feelings I repressed my whole life. However, it tapered off about a year ago and it kinda sucks. It's as if I literally grew thicker skin through truly allowing myself to feel the painful things I felt, and it's become increasingly difficult to cry like I used to. It felt really good to just let everything out. Duck yeah brother. I was 28 when I realized that shit myself. I also realized I'm a romantic mother ducker. There's good things to being more sensitive. Sensitivity is a superpower you can utilize to positively impact yourself and others if you let yourself explore it and learn how to regulate it in a healthy manner. Exercise. God damn it, there it is. I never want it to be here, but it always is. I know it keeps you healthy, but God, at what cost? Learning to get over myself. Nobody cares what I do. Nobody is looking at me. And why should I care if they are? Nobody outside my circle has enough context to make accurate judgments about how I live. So why am I trying so hard to justify my decisions? As soon as I adopted that mindset, being alive got significantly less shitty. I do my best to be a decent person and to take care of myself. And the only opinions I care about are mine, my partner's, and my therapist's. I stopped caring not everyone is gonna like you. All you need to do is like yourself. Taking vitamin D supplements and getting a therapy lamp for the winter. Holy shit, does it make a difference. I realized after my first year of university that the reason I didn't do well in the winter semester was because I was feeling depressed and exhausted due to lack of sunlight. I live in Canada, so the days are way shorter in winter. So when you leave before the sun rises, get home after it sets and wear a coat all day so your skin is exposed to no sunlight, you miss a lot of vitamin D. So I take vitamin D supplements each morning to make up for what I'm missing. And I use a therapy lamp to simulate sunlight in the morning. You feel way more energized and awake during the day. I would highly recommend it to anyone who feels exhausted in winter. Open bracket. P.S. If you're interested in a therapy lamp, look up SAD lamp or seasonal affective disorder lamp. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the award. Edit 2. Awards. I take a bunch of vitamins, but all could be bullshit except vitamin D. It's the only one I notice if I don't take it. Good stuff and cheap. B12 is good too. I don't take it every day, but sometimes when I know it's going to be a long day. I used to work a night job and everyone working there would take one at the start of shift if we knew it was going to be a long shift. Bought a cart that carries my groceries from the car to my apartment. No more trying to carry 5 bags in each hand. I read this as if the cart is automated and takes them by itself. But I don't think it's what you meant. If it is, then where do I buy one? Boston Dynamics type of cart. Getting your teeth fixed. Edit. Thanks for the awards, kind strangers. I'm ready to get my teeth fixed for good and spend all my savings doing it. But my father is holding me up trying to find a cheaper alternative. He doesn't understand how much of an impact it has on my self-esteem. I'm almost going behind his back and just doing it. Edit. OMG, I wasn't expecting so much support. Thank you guys so much for all the advice. I'm not from the US. I'm currently living in Portugal, but I'm actually Brazilian. I'll analyze the better option. Travel to Brazil and get it done. Much cheaper and equal or even better quality, or just doing it here for convenience. If you find a cheaper alternative, make sure they got good recommendations from clients with similar conditions to yours. Otherwise you might regret the bucks you save or even spend more down the line. You young kids will think this crazy, but I am glad to have gotten older. All those things that worried me when I was in my 20s just don't matter anymore. I'm 67 now and much happier. Totally agree. 53-year woman here, a hottie in my youth. The relief and freedom with not feeling like my worth is dependent on my looks is palpable. I stopped dyeing my hair during quarantine and now I have this wild silver streak in the front that I love. I think I'm going to grow it long again and fully rock the witch vibe. Why? Cause I'm old enough to no longer give a shit about other people's judgment. Also a lot of more substantial lessons about life and living and death. Edit. Thank you, kind strangers, for all the awards. That was really super sweet and made me smile. Hope you're all having wonderful days. Roomba. OMG, not having to sweep dog cat hair daily is such a blessing. Edit. Lots of replies. It's 4:30 AM. I'm on my phone instead of PC. Thanks for the awards. To answer the more obvious questions, it's an iRobot Roomba 694. It has not sucked up dog poop, but it cleaned up cat vomit, only leaving a little on the floor. Like a mop or spray and rag would need to be used anyway. The dirt tray has a microfilter and a collection area. You push one button and it comes out and you dump it in the trash. It does get under my dining room table because it just barely fits through the chair legs. It does get stuck in my cabinet, but I have it running when I'm usually home for lunch and can save it. It works on hard surfaces and carpets. Mine does not map the room that I'm aware of. It does not have a forward sensor at all. Just bumps into things and senses that way. That's all. Real talk. I don't know a single damned person with pets who has one. And I need an objective opinion. Does that shit really pick up all the cat hair? I've got 4 fuzzy beasts at home and I really do want a little vacuum 2D2. But I could not convince myself to drop the cash on one only for it to struggle to keep up. How frequently do you have to maintain it? Maintain? You mean empty the tray? Because of the amount of hair. I try to do it every run. The first time you run it you'll have to clean it out 3-4 times as it runs. My cat and dog shed like crazy and yes, it picks it up very well. It also pushes the cat's toys under the couch though, LMAO. Yoga. I'm an old guy and discovered it at age 56 in 2005. By now I'm still not terribly proficient, but yoga has kept me limber. More importantly, it has been amazing for improving my peace of mind. Whenever somebody asks why I practice yoga, I reply, for peace of mind. An Indian friend of mine runs a restaurant, an incredibly stressful job. It was eating him alive until he started doing yoga, thinking he'd gotten some yoga master from back home to teach him. I asked him how he learned. YouTube. It's great. You can find everything there. And hey, he's like a different guy now. Moving out of my parents' house. Welp. 24 and still live at home. Hey, unless living with your parents it's a toxic environment. There's no rush. Living alone is expensive and the world hasn't really been stable lately. Breathing exercises. Focusing on really deep exhales. After about 10 minutes my whole outlook for the day changes. I went back to find this comment. I read this and thought I'd try it. I didn't think I'd even make it 10 minutes. A half hour later I felt almost high off oxygen. I'm writing to let you know that I feel much calmer now. Thanks for the breath of fresh air. It's actually amazing how much more energy and satiation I get from homemade unsweetened oatmeal versus the stuff from the packet. Agreed. Once I learned that breakfast can be healthy, it changed my life. Also, once you make steel cut oats you'll never go back to rolled oats. Committing myself to a mental hospital and subsequent treatment. Been going through some shit myself lately, looked at that as an option or therapy or something. But holy shit, any type of treatment is expensive. Like life-ruiningly expensive for someone like myself that isn't wealthy and doesn't have insurance. LASIK. Best $4,000 I ever spent on myself. It's getting a lot cheaper now too. Where I am it's about £1,500 per eye. Conveniently I only have one. And I'm planning on getting LASIK in the next few years. Sobered up 2 years. Stop working more than 40 hours a week. Yes, this. Not everyone is so conscientious as to enjoy dedicating their life to their job. And that's okay. Also, business owners too often don't understand why their employees aren't as dedicated to them. Well, it's because it's their business, not ours. The company doing better often has no benefit for the employees. In the good old days you'd get a large bonus based on your performance and company performance and have a clear path for advancement. A job is not always a career. Don't treat it like one. Working remotely, spending money on gas, parking, clothes, etc. Just not worth it for most of my pre-remote working life. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.